It's Omar. It's 9:16 p.m. in the evening, and I'm making a video. I'm just gonna review like the callouts and why I called them out. As far as the watch list, it's just too late, and I just have too much to do. So tomorrow, if I get a chance, I'll call out a couple of plays. I'll tell you exactly at least the couple of stocks that I'm probably gonna look at tomorrow. But I'd rather just tell you the rationale for what I called out and why. So yesterday I didn't make a video, but I put these stocks on the watch list for today. I've been obsessed with Facebook. I've actually made, no lie, about maybe 30 points trading Facebook over the last month. Insane. I made a ridiculous amount of money trading Facebook. So this morning before the market opened, I told you what I was looking at. I said more on Trump causing a bloodbath this morning. Facebook looking to see if it breaks below 150, should tank harder. If spikes, look to see how it reacts to 154 level. A lot of resistance to take it short, risking 154, right? So let's talk about Facebook. And I actually posted another, let's pull up Facebook here. Yeah, come on, Facebook. All right, let me make this real big so you guys can see. All right, so okay, now why was I so big on Facebook 154, right? So this was pre-market, right? Yesterday, this was yesterday. Let me do this 5 day 5 minute, make it easier. All right, so this was yesterday, right? Yesterday gapped up, and it sold off and it tanked, and I told everybody about that yesterday too. You could have made a lot of money yesterday. It gapped up, consolidated here, and then it sold off, and it touched 150 post market, and then it gapped up. Now the reason why I was saying risk off 154, because if you notice here, look at all the resistance here at this 154 level, right? A lot of volume, so you're gonna need a lot of volume for it to break 154, right? So that's why I was saying risk off 154. And look what happened when the market opened, right? Before the market opened, stock starts gapping up, and look what happens. This is 154, right? Hits a high of 153.84, okay? And you're gonna notice that it kind of gapped up, all right? And it touched it, pulled back, gapped up, touched it, pulled back, gapped up, and look, it spiked up, and in this one candle touched double topped at that 153.85. You could have went short right there, and then the stock started gapping down, and I told everybody to short here at 152. If it, I think I posted it here if I'm not mistaken. I said I'll talk about these other stocks, but I know I had posted something about Facebook. Let's see. Dang, am I going crazy? I could have swore. Oh, here it is. We'll talk about TENX. But I said I'm going to teach. I have my stop set at 153.05, short 153.50, so I secure some profit. So basically, I shorted Facebook. Right into this pop right here. Okay, because I saw it, it gapped down. I saw it gap up, and it formed a lower high, and I just took a short, risking 154, and I got in right here, and the stock just continued to tank. And I had to teach, so I just, once it broke below 153, it was in the 152 level. I had a stop set here at the 153, a little over 153. Just to secure my 50-cent profit, and it just, surely enough, it just kept tanking. It got down to 151. Now I actually when I saw this, because I was walking, I just covered into this 151 because I wasn't sure I was gonna be able to watch it, and I just covered my profit. So I got 2 points on it, and I just covered in my phone because I did it through E-Trade. Because I really couldn't watch it, but the stock continued to tank. Now, why did it bounce at 150? Well, look where it touched yesterday, 150. Look at all this support here, 150. Yesterday it kept bouncing off this 150 level, 150.77 level. and it clearly broke below for a second, but then it continued to, it bounced right back up. And the SPY, the Facebook moves with the SPY. So as the SPY tanked, Facebook tanked with it. But as soon as the SPY started gapping up, you know, it started gapping up when the market opened, pulled back a little bit, but then it just ripped. So that's what caused a lot of the Facebook and a lot of the other stocks to bounce. So that's why I traded Facebook, and that's why I took the short. I missed this whole long. I wish I would have saw this. I would have jumped in on this. So now tomorrow, what I'm going to be looking at Facebook. It'll be on my watch list, and I want to see what it reacts to the SPY. Now I have some overhead resistance. I would have to put a bigger time frame. This is what I hate about thinkers from charting, man. I can't. It doesn't allow you to fit it all. Let's do 20 days, 5 minutes to see it, because oh, here we go. All right, cool. So I have some overhead resistance here. So I want to see tomorrow how it's going to react to this 160, 161 level, because this is a big key resistance level. If it can't break above this 160, 142, you can short risking off that. If it breaks above it, you can take a long risking off that. Now there's going to be some more overhead resistance, so you just got to keep looking at those next key levels to potentially sell into, and then, you know, go short if it can't hold. So you just got to map these out. These were here from before, because Facebook tanked before it ever had a chance to hit any of those alerts. So that was Facebook. Now let's talk about a couple of others. Let me go back down here, and I talked about IANT. Now this is before the market opened, right? I said IANT, this is the type of chart setup I make 5-figure trades on. Super overextended, stalking, waiting for first red day, because the day after I will attack, shorting into key resistance or go full size, right? Now let's talk about what IANT did. Okay, now this is the stock that I've been telling everybody, super overextended. So if you look at the 1 year, right, this thing has just been running from $4 to $50, right? Look at where the 50 simple day moving average is at $12. At some point, every stock is gonna come back down to that. This is gonna come back down to this $12 level, guys. This will. Now today, this thing had this crazy red day, and I was telling, I don't know who, I told somebody that, oh, I posted it to short. This is what where was it? I know I posted it. I know I'm not going crazy. Here it is. I put INNT is going to tank now, can't hold 4230 level, right? So basically, let's pull up the chart. So let's do the 5-day, 5-minute, right? So this is what happens, right? Market, pre-market, it starts going red, right? So let's zoom in. Okay, so now, right, it's red, right? So it pulls back. Now look what it bounces off, a previous support level, a key support level, bounces right off it, gaps up, right? 4235 now acts as, which was a key support level, now acts as a resistance level, right? So when you see it gap up and you see that it can't hold, and let me do the 5-day 1-minute chart, because I can show you better, because you can see, right? So here's the gap down, right? Start gaps up, bounces, you get, this is the 300 simple moving average, rejects it, it's below VWAP, and just completely tanks, bounces off that 3815 level, gaps up, right? This is all in 1-minute time frame, and it forms a lower high, right? This is the high. Look what happens, double tops right there. And that's when I knew when it start tanking, bounces off that 41, forms a lower high. I knew at this point it's not going to hold that level, it's not going to get back up there, and the thing just tanked. And it tanked all day, and look at this, it washed. Now there's not a lot of shares, obviously it's light volume, but even 100 shares, guys, can get you several points. And this thing tanked. This thing tanked all the way down to $35. Now, this is what I like to do. Unfortunately, I like to do this on a stock with more volume. But even 100 shares, you can still bank tomorrow on this. So this is what you should be looking for tomorrow. This is the strategy that I talk about. The day after the first red day, right? So today was the first red day, okay? All right, and it's had red days before. Here it had 2, and this day it had 3, and this day it had 2, and this day it had 1, and then it continued up, and this day it had 1 now. You know, so I think that, you know, this is the backside of the move. I don't think it's gonna go break over 50. You never know, but I don't think that's what's gonna happen. So this is how you play the strategy. This is how you make the big bucks. Tomorrow, what you hope for is that this stock will gap up at the market open, and you hope that it gets stuffed into a key major resistance level. So here's major resistance here at this 38.15 level. So I would love to see it get to like this level here and get stuffed, and then you take a short, risking it into that major resistance. Now, if it breaks above that, then you're gonna be looking to see at the next key resistance level, which would be at 41 bucks. So the higher it goes, even the better, you know? But basically what you wanna see it gap up to a key resistance level, and that's where you're gonna short, risking off that key resistance level. And that's basically all you do, and you just let it keep fading. So tomorrow, my expectation is that this is gonna fade even further. Now, what you wanna see is where's the next key support level. So you got some support here at 32 bucks. So my guess is that it's gonna touch that 32 buck level and bounce. But if it can't hold it, you can hold through and see, is it, you know, retest where you originally shorted, and or you know, or if not, you just cover on the bounce. It just really depends on, you know, your tolerance. But if it breaks 32.93 tomorrow, this will continue to tank. And you have some support down here at like this sort of like this 28 level, you know, and you know, you have some here as well as this $30 level. So, you know, that's what you want to see. So tomorrow, test it. Let's see if the strategy, or if this how the strategy works. It should, we hope, gap up, maybe touch this $38 level and get rejected, and then just continue tanking. And you take a short, risking off that $38 level. And that's how you make the big bucks. That's what I'm looking to see tomorrow. Now, the problem is if there's no shares to short, you can't do anything about that. So hopefully there's some shares to short. All you need is 100 shares, guys. And you can, and I'm telling you, this is gonna get like 8-9 points. Right? Next, I talked about SLS. And let's see. So I said SLS. Now this is before the market opened, guys. All right. I said SLS is red on the daily. Technically, I wait till tomorrow to apply my short after first day strategy into resistance. But paper traded today, look to short into overhead resistance. If spikes at $9 level, price target should be 780 below support. Let's see what happens. All right. So let's see why I said that. So let's pull up SLS. Okay, so SLS in the pre-market, it already had gone red. So technically, it's a red day, even, you know, at pre-market. Now, right, we have overhead resistance here, 850, right? It broke below that pre-market, right? So what happens? And I said overhead resistance 850 and $9, right? So if you gap back up, you're gonna notice here there is a lot of there's a lot of support here at this $8.93, $9 level, right? So if you notice, let me just zoom in here. You see, this is like let me low 904 high, low 904. So like at this $9 level, if you notice, like this is like $8.90, $9 level. There's a lot of overhead resistance. So what you do is you basically take a short, risking when it spikes up into that resistance level, because it needs a lot of volume to break it. And the stock is already overextended, right? It was at $11, and it's a shitty company. You don't expect this to stay up. So if you have the shares to short, what you do is right on that spike, you just short it. And look what happens when the stock pulls back, gaps up. Look where it gets rejected at, that 850 level. Support now becomes resistance, and you just take the short, risking off it, and boom, look at this. And the reason why I had said 780 was the price target, because right here, this was the clear support level, which was this 7. You see how right here is the low. Let me zoom in here. which was if you see this candle, the low actually 773. I said 780, but it was really more like 773, and that could have been your price target because maybe it holds and bounces back, but it couldn't hold it. It just rejected it for a second there. Look at that. It got above it and then rejected and just kept tanking all day. And eventually it bounced off what? Here. It got down to about this, 660 level, and then, it gapped up to 729 because it was like a clear support level here. If you notice here, there was some support here. Right here, if you zoom in, this is a support level. See? Right there. And it bounced right off that. If you look at the chart, see? Bounced right off it. That's all stock trading is, support and resistance. And that's why I encourage more shorting, because shorting is where the edge is, and that's where all the money is you can bank. But I go long, I go short, doesn't matter. So that's why that was my whole thesis on SLS, and as you can see, I was right. All right, it did exactly what I expected to do. BDR, I said short if it can't hold 150 resistance there, and I think I was off by a few seconds. This happened really fast, but I caught it on the E-Trade scanner. So let's talk about why I said that. So what happens is you get a lot of these morning spikes, and then they just gap, and then they just crap, right? So what you want to do is, as soon as the stock starts spiking, right here, like as soon as the stock starts spiking, now this was the pre-market, this was the after hour high. To me, the good buy is not when it breaks out. You know how I feel about that. You want to see it pull back and test, and it did test it and hold it, so that's the key indicator to go long had you caught it here. But what I love to do more than that is short the top. So what you do is, as soon as you see it start gapping, you need to pull up that 1 year chart, and you need to look and see what it usually does. And if you notice, gaps and craps. See, it got spikes and tanks. Spikes and tanks on the same day. Spikes and tanks. Spikes and tanks. It never holds. So what you want to do is see on the daily where it is. So right here you have some resistance here at 109. You have some resistance here at the high here was at 129. I don't know why I said 140. I meant to say 130, but I put 140. So if you look over the last year, that's why I said that. Now if you can go further back, so I can, let's say I do 5 years just to see. And you can see there is some more overhead resistance here, right, at this 150 level. And look what it did. It got up to this. There's a lot of resistance here, so you can expect to short into this overhead resistance. There's a lot of resistance here, so eventually it's gonna touch one of these levels and then tank. And that's what short sellers do. That's what guys like Steven Dux and Tim Grittani do, and I do. All right, it's just that. And if you notice, the stock spiked, and it touched that level and then tanked. So when I put 140, I meant to say 130. But if you notice, look what happened. It touched this 130, couldn't hold it, gapped up for a second, couldn't hold it, and then just faded, and then gapped up. And look, this lower high right here, you could have took the short, got the pop, and then it just tanked, and it faded all day, and it just faded all day. And that's all it is. That's why I said that, guys. That's all it is, guys. I know people make this like super complicated. It's not. I'm telling you. TENX. This is where Steven Dux made, look at $74,000 today trading it. He made that because he probably took about, I would guess, about 25,000 share position. And why was he so confident? Because let's look at TENX, and I don't know if I called oh yeah, I did actually make a call on TENX myself too. I said TENX, if it rips over 12, the 1260 level would be a great short. A lot of overhead resistance there. Otherwise, a good dip by scalp would be held if it held 9. And I just called this out because I was ready to run and teach. But let's talk about that. Why I said that, and why he was so confident to take such a huge position. Because what happened was, right, everybody hears that stock is gapping up, right? So it's gapping pre-market. It starts running. Okay, now obviously, as you see the stock ripping, you wanna see what the pre-market high was, right? So here's the pre-market high, 1040, and and then obviously you want to map your support and resistance levels, so there would have been support. Now what you want to do immediately is look to see when a stock starts running, where it's been over the last year. So if you look over the last year, right, this stock gaps, you know, and tends to crap, right? Doesn't really hold. Like here, went open at 764, hit a high 1060, hit a low of 760, closed at 1020, gap back up, but it goes up and craps down a lot. So now what you want to see happen is, right, the reason why I said 1263 is because look at this day, it hit a high of 1263, but there was a lot of overhead resistance here in this level, this 11 right here was this 1180 level. So I put 1174, but you want to look to see where that overhead resistance is so that you know. And there's a lot of resistance here. If you notice here, the highs here, $10, $12, like, yeah, right, like it varies, but these are the high points. So when you go into the chart, if you notice, look where it tapped out at that 1180 level, which was that overhead resistance, right, on the yearly, remember? So let me go back to that 1 year, and you see right here, okay, this was the highest point. So all he did was he noticed there's a huge spike, right? This is the resistance, right? He knows that it doesn't hold its highs, it tends to give it back. So his strategy, he probably looked at this and said, okay, there's some overhead resistance. He saw the double top, so he sees, okay, can't hold this, it hit 1192, gaps down, holds 11A, spikes back up, and right into this, he's seeing, hey, this is not holding its highs. So he's probably like right in here sizing in, taking a lot of size, and the stock has a lot of volume. Because it has a lot of volume, he can take a lot of size because he'll get executed quick. And he probably saw, hey, the double top, so he's probably, and he sees this pop, but he sees that it's a lower high forming, so he's risking off that 1192, and he's probably going in heavy here. And that's all he did. He probably took a lot of shares, because that's what I would have did, and he just held this, and he just saw this tank because it gaps and craps. And if you notice, look where it bounced, and he probably covered right in here because this was a clear support level. Now, if you notice, I said buy the if it holds 9, buy the dip. I had said this like right in here, when it was like right in here. Look what happened, guys. It broke below. It hit a low of what? $9. Look at that. It hit a low here of 9. This is the low here was what? Was $9. And the reason why I said 9 was because because of this right here. It had some, you know, it gapped up and it held here $9. That's why. So that's why I said I figured that it was gonna pull back and hold $9. So you see, you had a lot of support here at 9. And that's why I figured at 9 people were gonna dip by it, and sure enough, it gapped down to $9 and ran to 1192. You know, and look, it touched $9 here again, and then gapped up to 949. All right, just to show you. So that's why he took that trade, and he does, because it's the same pattern that happens again and again and again. So, you know, when you're confident and you can take the size, and that's why he made that. That's why he made that trade, because it was the same trade out. And look what he had here, INT. He's probably holding that because he's doing the same thing I did. Was when I called out, he saw the same thing I did, and I got a chance to finally see most of his video. Same strategy as me, same patterns. The long and the short are almost identical. The only difference between what he does and what I do is that he focuses really on small market caps. Like, he won't trade stocks with a market cap of over 100 million. I don't give a shit. I look at the patterns. I trade the same. To me, it's all the same. So those were the stocks that I called out. Those are the stocks that I called out, and if you see, I was right about every stock that I called out. I was right, 100% correct. Every call out was 100% exactly how I called it out. So, you know, I'm not going to be able to make a watch list because it's late. I need to get some rest. Tomorrow I got a long day. But what I'll try to do tomorrow is, you know, I'll put a couple of what I'm looking at in the morning. obviously tomorrow, look at AMD, Twitter, Facebook, all the tech stocks, because if Facebook is gapping up and if it holds and the SPY runs, they're all gonna run tomorrow. I would look at Bank of America too, because tomorrow it's probably gonna continue on another leg up, especially if it breaks $30. I would take it long, risking 30. I think you're gonna see it move tomorrow. But we'll see. I'll put some stocks together if I get a chance, and just post it, because there's, when I ran the query in FinViz, I mean, insane. Usually I look for stocks that are up 3%, under $50, and look how many stocks I get. 300. It's insane. No, the last week I've been getting 30, 40, 20, fucking 300 stocks. It's just insane. So I'll post some stuff tomorrow, right, guys? But I hope you find this informative. I hope you're understanding why I'm looking to short, where to short, or why I'm looking to go long and buy dips. So I hope this makes sense. So guys, have a great evening, and like, subscribe.